Australia is facing a crisis, an economic meltdown, a failing government, and a betrayal of its people. Promises broken, prices soaring, and national security compromised. This is not just politics, this is survival. Today, we expose the full scale of the disaster unfolding before our eyes. And trust me, you won't believe the shocking facts we're about to reveal.
But first, it's official. Australia is currently suffering under the laziest, stupidest, and most inept government in our nation's history. Just have a look at his supporters.
'Cause we need a change to protect democracy. We've got to stand up if we want to see a future for the territory. Nothing left that we can do. It's the voice we want. Honesty, it's the voice we want. Integrity, it's the voice we want. Democracy, the voice we need. Oh yes, indeed.
Democracy, democracy, and honesty.
Australia's multi-million-dollar national broadband network upgrade is a supposed game-changer for our economy. The government promised to revolutionize internet access, investing $750 million in taxpayer money. But what have we gotten? 100 extra customers. Yes, you heard that right. Hundreds of millions spent, almost no one benefits. This is government incompetence on full display. And if you thought that was bad, how about Labor's $10 billion housing fund? A program supposedly designed to fix Australia's housing crisis. Guess how many homes have been built? Zero. Not one single home in 3 years. The government has taken $10 billion and delivered absolutely nothing. This is more than failure, this is betrayal. And let's talk about the one promise Labor made 97 times before the last election: lower electricity bills. They swore Australians would see a $275 reduction. Instead, power bills have skyrocketed by over $1,300 per household. This isn't just a broken promise, it's a deliberate deception. And who's responsible? Chris Bowen, Anthony Albanese, and their reckless policies. Peter Dutton has already called for Bowen's resignation. But will anything change? And then, there's the latest international humiliation: tariffs on our steel and aluminum. A brutal economic hit imposed on us by none other than Donald Trump. And how did our government react? They didn't. Penny Wong only found out through the media. Instead of acting, instead of standing up for Australians, our government was caught completely off guard. This is global embarrassment at its peak. And what about Trump's reasoning? The truth is even more shocking. Australia's own Labor government made us vulnerable. Energy costs have destroyed our steel industry, forcing manufacturers to rely on taxpayer subsidies. Trump sees these subsidies as unfair competition, and now, we're paying the price. The truth is, this isn't Trump's fault, this is Labor's fault. Our industries are collapsing under their policies, and now foreign nations are punishing us for it. And if that wasn't enough, Australia has also abandoned its strongest allies, Israel and the United States. Our government has taken a dangerous turn, siding against Israel at the United Nations, fueling accusations of anti-Semitism. Do you think Donald Trump hasn't noticed? Do you think the world isn't watching? Australia's credibility is crumbling on the global stage. And Labor, they act like it's business as usual. And while Labor is busy destroying our economy, our energy sector, and our global reputation, the radical left is pushing its own twisted agenda. Look no further than the protests erupting across Western cities. Decolonization, they say while speaking English, the so-called colonizers' language. The hypocrisy is astounding. They march against Israel while ignoring real genocides happening right now in Africa and the Middle East, thousands slaughtered. Christian minorities wiped out. But where is the outrage? Where are the university protests, the media coverage? Nowhere.
All thanks to Labor. That should be the Lib slogan this election. All thanks to Labor. And
instead, we see radical leftists and Islamist extremists uniting to protest against Israel while ignoring real atrocities. And in South Africa, protesters are openly calling for the murder of white farmers, holding up dolls of white babies as they chant for violence. This is the reality of modern extremism, and yet, the mainstream media remains silent. This is the world we're living in, and Australia on the brink. A government failing its people, and a radical movement rewriting history and silencing truth. But we won't be silent. We will expose the lies. We will hold them accountable. What do you think? Is this the worst government in Australia's history? Are we heading toward economic collapse? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because we are bringing you the truth no matter how uncomfortable it gets. We'll see you next time.